So in the past couple of tutorials, we've looked at signaling and station types, but what happens when you put them together? The station on screen now will never function properly in its current design. But why? For those of you who haven't worked it out yet, let's take a look at how to build and signal stations correctly in OpenTTD. Hey everyone, it's M4J here, and welcome to another OpenTTD JGR tutorial. Now, a lot of my tutorials in this series are all about how to build realistic networks, but today I'm going to cross the divide into the arcade side of OpenTTD as well, as the designs I'll be showing you work just as well in JGR or vanilla OpenTTD. The last tutorial showed you the different types of stations in OpenTTD, but this episode is all about how to actually build each station type, as well as how to signal them correctly to keep things moving. So without further ado, let's get into the tutorial. First up, let's build a terminus station. I'm going to keep things simple here, so no behemoth builds like Guard City St. George. I'm also keeping the platforms themselves out from the build, purely for demonstrative purposes, so we can focus on the track itself. I'll start things off by laying the track for where the platforms will go, making sure I count the number of tiles each platform is to make sure each train will fit. Once I've established the platform length, I'll add one extra tile at the non-terminus end of the station. You'll see why this is in a moment. With the platform tracks laid, we now need to connect them all up into the approach tracks. These can be as simple or as complicated as you want, but for now, I'll keep them as one track in, one track out. The key is to maximize train movements, whilst keeping the design simple. For a 4-track terminus like this, it's possible to have one train leave as another arrives, so long as you're smart. Crossovers like these enable this flexibility. Just bear in mind that conflicting movements are obviously still not possible, so the outside platforms won't have the same flexibility as the inner pair. With the station tracks now laid, it's time to start signaling the station. Signaling a terminus station in OpenTTD is actually very simple. We'll ignore routing restrictions for this tutorial, but feel free to check out my first signal tutorial video to find out more about speed limits and route restrictions in signals. To signal the station, all you need is a single one-way path signal for the approach track and one two-way signal per platform. Place the one-way path signal before the station junctions with the aspect facing towards approaching trains. Then for every platform, place a two-way signal with the aspect facing the platform. This is why we left an extra tile at the end of each platform. Some players argue you don't need the platform signals, but it helps to build them to keep train movements controlled. Then, for the station exit track, it's important to leave a gap the length of the longest train before placing your first block signal. We also covered this in the previous signaling tutorial. So your terminus station is now set up and ready to go. Let's move on to through stations. Building a through station in OpenTTD is almost exactly the same as building a terminus station. The only difference is that tracks come out of both ends of the platform tracks rather than just one. Don't forget to extend the platform tracks by an extra tile for the necessary signals before building the approach junction. For this example, I'm just going to mirror the approach junction on both sides of the station, but feel free to build a junction to suit whatever needs your lines have. If you have more than one line approaching the station from either side, you may need to build a bespoke junction to allow the most efficient train movements through the station. Once you're happy with the layout of your through station, it's time to move on to signaling. Signaling a through station is also very similar to signaling a terminus station in OpenTTD. Once again, we'll place the two-way signals with the aspect side facing towards where the platforms would go. This means all train movements in, out, and through the station will be controlled and safe. Then, place a one-way signal on every approach track where trains are travelling toward the station. This ensures trains can only enter the station when there's a free platform for them to use. Finally, place the first exit signal at least one train length from the last crossover of the junction. Just like with terminus stations, this makes sure no train can block any of the junctions if they have to stop for any reason. If you want to control the direction of train travel through the station, you can use one-way signals instead of two-way on specific platform ends. Personally, I recommend having at least one platform in each direction exclusive to that direction if you're planning on heavily populating your station. This will maintain a constant flow of trains in each direction, avoiding any possible blockages. So we've got terminus and through stations sorted, let's very quickly go over row stations as well. Railroad stations are just through stations with a single direction of travel, so to build one, just build a through station with one-way signals at each platform end. For the approach and departure tracks, it's a good idea to keep them as central to the station design as possible. This means if you have a 3-platform station, it's best to have these tracks line up with the central platform. This helps with efficiency, as the travel time from the approach track to each platform will be roughly the same. If you have the approach track offset, the travel time to the furthest platform will mean every arrival to that platform could hold up approaching traffic behind. Besides that, railroad stations are incredibly simple to build, so go ahead and start building. So that's how to build and signal stations in OpenTTD. Now these are basic designs, but the principle works on pretty much every station type in the game. If you want to check out more tutorials for how to play OpenTTD the way I do, check out the full playlist either in the description or coming up on the screen at the end. Also, if I've missed anything important, then feel free to let me know in the comments below, or join my Discord via the link in the description and join in with the M4J network chat. For now though, thanks for watching. If you found this tutorial helpful and are enjoying the OpenTTD tutorial series, then be sure to like the video and share the series around to help other OpenTTD players. Besides that, if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, then be sure to do so for more tutorials and OpenTTD content just like this. If you have already subscribed to the channel, then thank you for your continued support. It's greatly appreciated. Enjoy the rest of your evening, and until next time, I will see you soon.